Nubian culture in Egypt, particularly in villages near Aswan, is a vibrant and integral part of the country's history and identity. The Nubians are an indigenous ethnic group with a rich heritage that traces back thousands of years to the ancient kingdom of Kush. Their unique traditions, language, and way of life have been preserved and celebrated despite historical challenges. The Nubians have their own languages, Nubian and Kenuzi Dongola, which are part of the Eastern Sudanic branch of the Nilo-Saharan language family. While Arabic is widely spoken, many Nubians strive to preserve their native tongues. Nubian villages are known for their distinct, colorful houses. These homes are often adorned with intricate geometric patterns, floral motifs, and scenes from daily life. Domed roofs, designed to regulate indoor temperatures, are a hallmark of traditional Nubian architecture. Music and dance are central to Nubian culture. Nubian songs often reflect themes of love, nature, and the longing for their ancestral lands. Traditional instruments include the tambura, a type of lyre, and daf, a type of drum. The Nubians are skilled artisans, producing vibrant pottery, textiles, and jewelry. Their designs often incorporate symbols of their heritage, such as the crocodile, a revered creature in Nubian folklore. Nubian cuisine features dishes that are distinct from other parts of Egypt. Staples include millet bread, lentils, and fish dishes. Meals are often flavored with a mix of local herbs and spices. Garb Sohail is a popular Nubian village on the west bank of the Nile, near Aswan. It is a hub for Nubian culture, where visitors can experience traditional hospitality, shop for handmade crafts, and enjoy local cuisine. Known for its historical significance, Seal Island is home to ancient inscriptions and carvings that provide insight into the lives of early Nubians. Many Nubians were displaced during the construction of the Aswan High Dam in the 1960s and resettled in new villages. These new Nubian settlements strive to retain traditional lifestyles while adapting to modern challenges. The construction of the Aswan High Dam flooded much of Nubia's ancestral land, forcing many to relocate. With modern influences and urbanization, there is an ongoing effort to preserve the Nubian language, art, and traditions. Visiting a Nubian village is a unique cultural experience. In the 20th century, the construction of the Aswan Low Dam, 1902, and later the Aswan High Dam, 1960s, caused the original Philae Island to be submerged underwater for much of the year. To save the temples, an international UNESCO-led project relocated the structures to the nearby Agilkia Island between 1972 and 1980. The temples were carefully dismantled, block by block, and reassembled on Agilkia Island, a site chosen for its similar terrain and proximity to the original location. Visitors can reach the island via a short boat ride from Aswan, adding a scenic element to the journey. Philae was revered as one of the burial sites of the god Osiris, making it a sacred place in ancient Egyptian mythology. The island was a significant pilgrimage site, particularly for worshippers of Isis, the goddess of fertility, motherhood, and magic. The Temple of Isis, built during the Ptolemaic period, 332–30 BCE, was the main structure on the island. However, earlier evidence shows that the island's religious significance predates this period, with some structures dating back to the 26th dynasty, 7th century BCE. Temples dedicated to Hathor, Horus, and other deities were later added. Under the Ptolemies and Romans, Philae flourished as a religious hub. The Romans continued the veneration of Isis, blending Egyptian and Greco-Roman religious traditions. Emperor Augustus, Tiberius, and others made additions to the temple complex. In the 6th century CE, after the rise of Christianity, the temples were repurposed as churches. Pagan worship was officially banned, and many hieroglyphs and carvings were defaced during this period. The main attraction of Philae, dedicated to Isis, was built during the Ptolemaic dynasty and completed by Roman emperors. It includes the first pylon, a grand gateway with reliefs of Ptolemaic rulers presenting offerings to the gods. The inner court leads to the hypostyle hall and the sanctuary, where the statue of Isis was once kept. The birth house, Mamazi, a smaller temple dedicated to Horus, celebrating the divine birth of the child god. Trajan's kiosk, also known as Pharaoh's bed, this is an iconic, elegant pavilion with 14 massive columns. It was possibly used for ceremonial purposes or as a waiting area for priests. The Temple of Hathor is a smaller structure adorned with reliefs depicting music, dance, and offerings, symbolizing Hathor's role as the goddess of music and joy. Roman emperors added gates, shrines, and reliefs that blended Egyptian and Roman artistic styles. The Temple of Ka-Mombo is situated on the eastern bank of the Nile, about 50 kilometers north of Aswan. It is dedicated to two sets of deities, which reflects the duality inherent in ancient Egyptian cosmology. The temple was constructed during the Ptolemaic period, 305 to 30 BCE, and expanded by subsequent Roman emperors. Its strategic location near a major trade route and the Nile made it an important religious and administrative center. Ka-Mombo is unique because it honors two distinct triads of deities. Sobek, the crocodile-headed god of fertility, the Nile, and protection. Horus the Elder, Heraris, the falcon-headed god of the sky, war, and kingship. Each half of the temple is symmetrical, with separate sanctuaries, halls, and reliefs dedicated to these two gods. Sobek's association with the Nile's fertility and crocodiles reflects the Egyptians' need to appease and honor the river's power, as well as the dangers posed by its wildlife. Horus, on the other hand, symbolized protection and divine kingship. The Ptolemies blended traditional Egyptian religious practices with Greek traditions, evident in the temple's art and architecture. The Romans also contributed to the site, adding inscriptions and reliefs. The temple's symmetrical layout has two entrances, two hypostyle halls, and two sanctuaries, one for Sobek and one for Horus. Reliefs and inscriptions on either side of the temple depict stories and rituals associated with their respective deities. The walls are adorned with detailed carvings, including scenes of offerings to Sobek and Horus. Notable is the depiction of ancient surgical tools, found on the inner walls, which suggests the temple's connection to medicine and healing. Dedicated to the divine birth of the deities, the Mamazi contains depictions of Sobek's role in creation and fertility. A unique feature of the temple is the Nilometer, a structure used to measure the Nile's water levels and predict agricultural conditions. Near the temple, a museum displays mummified crocodiles and artifacts related to Sobek worship, offering insight into the sacred connection between the Egyptians and the Nile's crocodiles. The surgical tools carved on the walls suggest that the temple served as a center of healing. Priests likely performed medical and spiritual rituals to treat ailments. The temple's proximity to the Nile underscores the reverence and fear ancient Egyptians had for crocodiles, which were both protectors and threats. Over time, the temple fell into disuse and was damaged by earthquakes, Nile flooding, and human activity. Much of its sandstone was reused for other construction projects. The site was rediscovered in the 19th century by European explorers. Excavations revealed its unique design and treasures, including the mummified crocodiles. The temple is a popular stop on Nile cruises between Luxor and Aswan, making it easily accessible to visitors. The Temple of Ka-Mombo stands as a remarkable testament to the ingenuity and spiritual depth of ancient Egyptian civilization. Its dedication to two powerful deities embodies the harmony and duality that defined much of their worldview.
7 and 8 is the level where people can pay the taxes.